Kunja Vihari Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatarshata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatarshata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to these Samal devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to these Samal devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to these Samal devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschachardi Shatarni. Giridhari Prabhu, should we take my danda, put it here so it's in the shot? Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devam Sarvatim Vyasam
Tato Jayhamudirayet
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu
Ashtaprayashu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nandagopalamalaya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 3, Canto 3, Chapter 16, text number 13 and 14. And the chapter is called The Two Doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai and Vijay, Cursed by the Sages. First, text number 13. Brahmovacha Atatasyo Shatim Devim Atataso Shatim Devim Rishi Kulyan Sarasvatim Rishi Kulyam Sarasvatim Nasvadya Manyadashtanam Nastvadya Manyudashtanam Tesham Atmapyatripyata Tesham Atmapyatripyata Brahma Uvacha Atatasyo Shatim Devim Rishi Kulyan Sarasvatim Nasvaja Manyudashtanam Tesham Atmapyatripyata Brahma Uvacha Atatasyo shatim devim
Tatasyo satim devim
Rishikulyam sarasvatim
Rishikulyam sarasvatim
Nasvadyamanyu-dashtanam
Nasvadyamanyudastana
Tesham atmapyatripyata.
Tesham atmapyatripyata.
Please chant.
Brahmavacha
Brahmavacha
Tatasyo satim devim
Atatasyo shatim devim
Rishikulyam sarasvatim
Rishikulyam sarasvatim
Nasvadyamanyudastana
Nasvadyamanyudashtanam
Tesham atmapyatripyata.
Tesham atmapyatripyata. Brahmavacha Atatasyo satim devim Rishikulyam sarasvatim Nasvadyamanyudashtanam Tesham atmapyatripyata. Brahmavacha Atatasyo satim devim Rishikulyam sarasvatim Nasvadyamanyudashtanam Tesham atmapyatripyata. Brahma, Lord Brahma, Uvacha, said, Ata, now, Tasya, of the Supreme Lord, Ushatim, lovely, Devim, shining, Rishikulyam, like a series of Vedic hymns, Saraswatim, speech, na, not, Asvadya, hearing, Manyu, anger, Dashtanam, bitten, Tesham, of those sages, Atma, the mind, Api, even though, Atripyata, satiated. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charnarvinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Brahma continued, even though the sages had been bitten by the serpent of anger, their souls were not satiated with hearing the Lord's lovely and illuminating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns. There's no purport here, so we'll move on to text number 14. I'll chant the Sanskrit myself. Satim vyadhaya shrinvanto lagvim gurvarta galvaram vighaya gada gambiran navidus tach chikir shitam. Synonyms. Satim, excellent. Vyadaya, with attentive oral reception. Shrinvantaha, hearing. Lagvim, properly composed. Guru, momentous. Artha, import. Gavaram, difficult to understand. Vighaya, pondering. Agadha, deep. Gambirham, grave. Na, not.
not.
Viduhu,
Viduhu,
understand.
understand.
Tat,
Tat,
of the Supreme Lord.
of the Supreme Lord.
Chikikshitam,
Chikirshitam,
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 the intention.
the intention.
Translation. The Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend because of its momentous import and its most profound significance. The sages heard it with wide open ears and pondered it as well. But although hearing, they could not understand what he intended to do. Purport. It should be understood that no one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead in speaking. There is no difference between the Supreme Person and his speeches, for he stands on the absolute platform. The sages tried with wide open ears to understand the words from the lips of the Supreme Lord, but although his speech was very concise and meaningful, the sages could not completely comprehend what he was saying. They could not even comprehend the purport of the speech or what the Supreme Lord wanted to do, nor could they understand whether the Lord was angry or pleased with them. Once again, the verse. Satim Vyadaya Shinvanto Lagvim Gurv Arta Gavaram Vigaya Gada Gambiram Navidustak Chikir Shitam Om Jnana Tirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Dena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Please accept my most humble obeisances and my gratitude to all the devotees today for being here for the Srimad Bhagavatam class in Sri Sri Radha Govinda's temple here in ISKCON on Rath Island, the Hare Krishna Island. I'm very, very fortunate to be here this morning. And before I begin to speak, I seek the blessings of all the devotees that are present, that I can speak for my own purification and say something of value as per our beloved Guru Parampara. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So the topic today is the words of the Lord, bliss and beyond, because the discussion is about the words of the Lord. Everything about the Lord is absolute. So the Lord is non-different from His words. And the Lord is called Uttama Shloka, one who is glorified with choice words and poetry. So the Lord's words are non-different from Him, and the words about the Lord are also non-different from Him. So there's tremendous potency in transcendental words, Shabda Brahman. I'm based in a place called Pandharpur. And in Pandharpur, Maharashtra, it's called Nada Brahman. Nada Brahman. Because the sound vibrations are constantly filled. All the ether, all the air is filled with sound vibrations glorifying the Lord. There are ashrams everywhere, and everyone is always doing bhajans and blasting it out through big sound systems, as people love to do in India. So you're constantly immersed. It's an immersion in transcendental sound vibration. And Srila Prabhupada is inundating the entire world with transcendental sound vibrations through the chanting of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the loud chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's a beautiful verse in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter, text number 12. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abhavatya api namani anantasya yashon kintaniyat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhavaha. And this verse is in the introduction of every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Tadvag visargo. Tadvag. Vag means the words. Vach. Vach means to speak. Vachavegam manaso krodavegam. Vach. Tadvag. Those words. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abhavatya api namani anantasya yashon kintaniyat. They contain the name, the form, the pastimes, the paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these words about Krishna, these words of Krishna, as we're hearing today, and the past few days we've been hearing Lord Krishna's words, Lord Vishnu's words to these four Kumaras. Tadvag visargo janataga, the jana, the people, janataga, viplavo. Viplavo means revolution. These words, even though imperfectly composed, will create a revolution in the lives of an impious civilization. Because they contain, once again, the name, the form, the qualities, the pastimes, the paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus, Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhavaha. Shrinvanti, they're heard. Shrinvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridantasto Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. There's a beautiful verse from the first canto, second chapter of Bhagavatam. Shrinvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam. Hearing these words of Srimad Bhagavatam, Punya Shravanam is pious. It gives us great spiritual acumen, great spiritual benefit. Shrinvata Swakata Krishna, this kata, this discussion about Krishna, punya shravana, when we hear it, we get punya, we get so much benefit. Hyadanta sto hyabhadrani, and within our hridi, within our hearts, everything abhadrani. Bhadra means very auspicious, and abhadra means inauspicious. So everything inauspicious in the heart. Hyadanta sto hyabhadrani vidunoti surit satam. Krishna is surit, he's our benefactor, and he's cleansing our hearts of all inauspicious things through these words of the Bhagavatam. Words by Krishna, words spoken by Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai. Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokam Bhavatya Api Namanyanantasya Yashon Kintaniyat Shrinvanti, heard, Gayanti, sung, Shrinvanti Gayanti, Grinanti, accepted, heard, sung, and accepted by all men, Sadhavaha, all saintly persons, all men who are thoroughly honest, will accept these words of Krishna. But as we're hearing in today's verse, the Lord, the way he speaks, so gambhir, so deep, sometimes it's difficult to understand his intentions as the four Kumaras are experiencing this issue today. The translation of today's verse: the Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend. So even the Lord is speaking in such an eloquent way, it may be difficult to comprehend. Why? Because of its momentous import and its most profound significance. When Lord Krishna speaks, when Lord Vishnu speaks, it's not small talk. How's the weather today? It's not like that. It's very deep import for our spiritual benefit. The sages heard it with wide open ears. Let's see if we can find the Sanskrit for that. That's beautiful statement. Vyadaya, with attentive oral reception. So this is something we should keep in mind when we're hearing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. We should have vyadaya. We should have attentive oral reception. And in the translation, Srila Prabhupada very poetically translates it as wide open ears, vyadhaya, and pondered it as well. Not only they heard it, but they pondered it. Similarly, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, throughout the day, we should be pondering the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. That way the potency of the transcendental sound vibrations continue to act and purify us throughout the day. Like you put the clothes in the washing machine and it's like So in the morning, it's like when we sit in the Bhagavatam class, it's like putting the dirty laundry of our consciousness in the washing machine. And then as we ponder it throughout the day, as we continue to think about it, it's like the washing machine continues to wash our brains. Prabhupada said was discussing with some of his disciples in America. There was a court case, the Robin George court case, and the Hare Krishnas were being accused of brainwashing. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, we're brainwashing. We're washing their brains. They should pay us to do this. So this is what we need. We need brainwashing to wash all the Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsarya, Mud, the lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, madness, illusion. We should wash this out of the brain. So when we do Vyadaya, when we hear Shrinvataha with wide open ears, and later we continue Vigaya, pondering. Vigaya, we continue to meditate. Vigaya, pondering. Agadha, the deep and gambiram, grave words of the Lord. So this Vigaya is very important, pondering, remembering and thinking about the message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the day. And in the morning when we wake up, what are we thinking of? Great if we can think of Srimad Bhagavatam. I stay in Pandharpur, Maharashtra, as I mentioned, that's my base, and we have a Goshala. Goshala is a place where we keep cows. We have about 50 cows. Beautiful cows, so nice. And if you see a cow eat in the morning, the cow eats the grass. And then during the day, the grass again, after swallowing, again comes up. And the cow does chewing like this. It's like a sideways way of chewing. And this example is given when we discuss mananam. Mananam means to bring back up what we've heard earlier and chew on it, meditate on it within our minds. So this is very, very helpful in our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. To do the Shrinvatam, Shrinvata Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hyadantasto Hyabhadrani, Vidunoti Suritsatam. That we do the pious listening, and then again later, mananam, we bring it up, and vigaya, we ponder on the message of Bhagavatam, and then all throughout the day, the washing machine of the Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us the brainwashing that we so desperately need. Okay, so to continue on, in the purport today, it's mentioned that no one can surpass the Supreme Lord in speaking. So the Lord is the best at any activity, including speaking. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, there's no difference between the Supreme Person and his speeches, for he stands on the absolute platform. So everything about the Lord is absolute. He's non-different from his words. And for us, most importantly, he's non-different from his name. Abhina abhinatvam nam namino. The Krishna and his name are non-different. So therefore, when we chant Krishna's name, he's personally present there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here we see the picture of the four Kumaras. They're together with Jai and Vijay, and then they're together with Vishnu, and Vishnu is instructing them. And then we see that Srila Prabhupada is giving us these beautiful sound vibrations. So just as these sound vibrations were available to the 4 Kumars, so similarly, these sound vibrations are available to us. Srila Prabhupada would give lectures, and he'd say that the microphone, when it's used in Krishna's service, becomes spiritualized. So in this way, the transcendental sound vibrations are reaching all of us. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Antya Lila 1275, it's mentioned. Prabhura vachane sabara dravi bhutamana ajura nayane saba karina krandana. When all of the devotees heard these sweet words of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their hearts melted and they began to shed incessant tears. So Lord Krishna has descended in so many forms and so many avatars, and we're so fortunate to be here in Kali Yuga just after Lord Chaitanya has descended. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. That Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna together in one body, and even just as Lord Krishna is the ultimate speaker, similarly Lord Chaitanya is the ultimate speaker. And there was a great debate with, I believe his name is Keshav Kashmiri, the great scholar, who recited 100 verses about the Ganga, spontaneously composed like the wind. And then Lord Chaitanya said, very nice, but can you please tell me about the faults and the benefits in this particular verse? And Keshav Kashmiri was bewildered. Faults? What do you mean faults? And then Lord Chaitanya pointed out that he had used the word something like Bhavata Bharini, referring to the wife of Lord Shiva, the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. And then how could the husband, Lord Shiva is the husband, how could there be husband of the wife of Lord Shiva? Then it becomes 3 people. So he pointed out this fault. So Lord Chaitanya is the ultimate speaker, just like Lord Krishna is the ultimate speaker. And here in this verse we hear, when devotees heard the sweet words of Lord Chaitanya, their hearts melted and they began to shed incessant tears. What a powerful speaker. Sometimes we see powerful speakers and their speech is so powerful, people begin to shed tears. And the Lord Chaitanya here is exhibiting that potency in his speech. The speech of the Lord, of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, is said to be so sweet that it's like honey. Imagine honey dripping into your ears in the form of the magnificent words of the Supreme Lord. Tad vag visargo janataga viplavo. Lord Krishna also spoke nectarian words to Arjuna. And what was the effect of those words? When he spoke, his consciousness was purified. As we heard in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text number 73. Arjuna uvacha nashto moha smitir labda tvat prasadan mayachuta stitosmi gata sandeyaha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instructions. So, by the words of the Supreme Lord, Nashto Moha Smitir Labda, illusion is gone, and one has regained the memory. So it's very important that we regularly hear and chant Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So Nashto Moha. So our illusion can be dispelled. What is that illusion? We think we're this body. We don't realize we're the spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. We're actually spiritual in nature. That Jivera Surupa Hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. We're all eternally servants of Krishna. This is our real identity. And by hearing these nectarian words of the Lord, we can remember this. And understand that at the time of death, Dihinosmin yatadehe, Dihinosmin yatadehe, Komaram yovanam jara, Tatade hantara praptir, Dhiras tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So these are the nectarian words of the Supreme Lord. And then we're hearing today from the four Kumaras. And the four Kumaras are saying, we heard these words, we heard the nectarian words of the Lord, but they're not sure. They're not sure what the Lord wants them to do. They don't know if the Lord is happy with them or angry with them. So they're a little bit bewildered. Because that's the nature of the Lord. Sometimes the Lord bewilders us. Like when the Lord exhibited his universal form to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna became bewildered. So sometimes that's the case. So sometimes Krishna is really bewildering. Sometimes he appears as a small child and he makes so much nutcut, he makes so much naughtiness. Like Krishna and Balaram would go into the homes of the gopis and they would try to steal the butter, and sometimes the gopis would put the butter high on a swing and make it very difficult for Krishna and Balaram to steal the butter. They'd have to try to climb up, and if they could not access the butter, they would do naughty things, like put drops of water in the baby's ears to make them cry. And sometimes Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, would pass urine and stool on the floor in order to take his revenge that he couldn't get the butter. Right? So Krishna bewilders us, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's a beautiful verse, Bhagavatam 1.3.37. Na chasya kaschin nipurne, na kasyat kaschin nipurnena datur, avaiti jantu kumarnishya utehi, namani rupani manovachobihi, santan vatonartha charyam ivagyaha. The foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things, neither in their speculations nor in their words. So the Lord is just playing his Leela like an actor in the drama. So we're very grateful to His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That he's given us the truth, the full understanding of Krishna. Tad vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam, jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Just try to see the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Approach him submissively and offer seva unto him. Inquire submissively. The great souls can impart knowledge unto us because they have seen the truth. So Srila Prabhupada is so kindly giving us this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shrinvata Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hyabhadrano Hyabhadrani, Vidunoti Suritsatam. Our hearts are getting cleansed and we're hearing the nectarian words of the Supreme Lord. So I'd like to again express my gratitude, all the devotees for coming today. And before I conclude, I would like to ask if there are any questions or comments from our devotees. Thank you so much.
That's 1873, was it? You quoted?
Yeah, I believe so.
Could you read that again?
Yeah. This is Bhagavad Gita 1873. You want to hear the Sanskrit or just the translation?
Just the translation.
Okay. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions."
I have regained my memory. That means that the knowledge, the connection with Krishna is always there, as I understand that verse. And then by the mercy of the Guru, by the mercy of Krishna, then we're reconnected with something that is latent, dormant within us. But so how is it that we just, although we're connected, we're reconnected, we're now having the opportunity to regain our original Krishna consciousness, but it still is a struggle. There's still an effort to be made. It's almost like it's a daily struggle. Although it's nectarian, prasadam is wonderful, association of devotees, chanting is wonderful, but still it's almost like we're fighting against ourselves, to our intrinsic nature, to say, yeah, I need to do this because it's almost like, for me, it doesn't come naturally. And is that a universal case, or is it just my situation that I find myself in?
So thank you for sharing your dilemma with us. Your dilemma is that you feel that there's a resistance despite performing different aspects of bhakti and sadhana, but you feel personally a resistance that it's not so easy to stretch our consciousness back into the natural state of Krishna consciousness. Is that what you're referring to? So it's a challenge to regain our original Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada uses the example of jaundice, of the disease of jaundice. So a person who contracts the disease of jaundice, everything tastes bitter to him. Even sugar candy, mishri, would taste bitter, and he would not want to take it. However, Srila Prabhupada describes that the cure for jaundice is to take the sugar candy. And eventually, as the patient continues to take the medicine in the form of sugar candy, eventually the patient returns to his normal health, regains his healthy condition, and at that time the sugar candy again will taste sweet. So we're in a similar situation, that Krishna consciousness and enjoying Krishna consciousness and being spontaneously attracted to Krishna consciousness is our natural condition. However, due to our diseased consciousness, our bad consciousness, then Krishna consciousness can sometimes taste bitter to us, and we're not spontaneously attracted to it. Therefore, by performing Vaidhi Bhakti, the regulative principles of sadhana bhakti, bhakti according to rules and regulations, that will help us gradually come again to a healthy state, where when we reach that healthy state, we'll be spontaneously attracted to Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in Madhurya Kadambini that there are different stages of advancement in Krishna consciousness. We have Shraddha, and then after Shraddha, we have Sadhu Sangha. Shraddha means faith. Sadhu Sangha, coming in the association of devotees. Bhajana Kriya, engaging in sadhana bhakti and activities, honoring prasadam as you mentioned, and chanting and associating with devotees. All these activities we perform, sometimes with an attraction and sometimes without an attraction. But we perform them as part of our Vaidhi Bhakti, our sadhana bhakti. And then next comes Anartha Nivritti, which is a stage many of us, most of us are in right now, that we've been practicing Krishna consciousness, associating with devotees, doing our sadhana bhakti, our bhajana kriya. And now Anartha Nivritti means we're trying to become free of anarthas. Artha means wanted, anartha means unwanted. Unwanted things like we have Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsarya, mud, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, madness, illusion. We have, these are the stumbling blocks. These are the obstacles that are slowing us down in our attraction. But as we continue to perform devotional service and the association of devotees, these anarthas gradually begin to subside. And as they begin to gradually subside, we gain more and more attraction to Krishna consciousness. After Anartha Nivritti comes the stage of Nishta, becoming fixed, that our Krishna consciousness is getting more and more fixed up. And we're not so much attracted to Maya, and we're fixed that yes, Krishna consciousness is my path, and I'm not going to explore any other alternatives. This is my determination. Ekeha Kuru Nandana. I'm fixed on this path. This is Nishta. And after Nishta comes Ruchi. And Ruchi is when we begin to get a bit of taste. And then, or maybe before I'm forgetting which one comes first, there's also Asakti. Asakti means we're attached to Krishna consciousness. We're really powerfully attached to Krishna consciousness, and it causes us pain to be out of Krishna consciousness. The example, it's like an addiction. Like an alcoholic is addicted to drinking, a devotee who's reached the stage of Asakti is addicted to Krishna consciousness. It's difficult to live without it. And then after Asakti is coming Bhava. Bhava means the initial stages of Krishna consciousness, love for Krishna, begin to awaken. And then ultimately Prema is the highest stage of full-blown love for God, full-blown love for Krishna. So once I heard a very nice explanation from Her Grace Prashanta Mataji. So she's the head of the VIHE, Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education in Vrindavan. And she studied these books very extensively. She gave a beautiful explanation of these 8 stages and compared it to like climbing a hill or a mountain. And when you're climbing on the way up, there's 4 on the way up and then 4 on the way down. And it's much harder to climb a mountain than it is to go down, or a hill, let's say. It's harder to climb a hill and more easy to go down the other side. So climbing is like Shraddha and association of devotees, sadhu sangha, and then coming up to the next level, which would be bhajana kriya, and then anartha nivritti. And all of this is very challenging and very difficult and a bit of a struggle for us to perform. But then when we come to nishta, then after nishta things become a bit easier, and it's less of a struggle for us to climb and more of like an attraction that Krishna begins to pull us with the attraction to devotional service. So nishta, and then after nishta, this ruchi, which is like getting a taste, and it's Krishna consciousness becomes more and more relishable. Like we hear of devotees like Jayananda Prabhu, who are just fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness all the time. And whether he was taking out the garbage, or whether he was changing the oil in a vehicle, he was just, or cooking in the kitchen, or going for Harinam Sankirtan, or giving a class, whatever he was doing, he was fully blissful. And Keshava Bharti Maharaj, our sannyasi residing in Govardhan, he met Jayananda Maharaj, and he met Jayananda Maharaj who was under the car, changing the oil and fixing the car, and he was preaching to him from under the car. And he just spent the whole day with him, taking out the garbage, and he said, if the devotee cleaning the garbage is so blissful, then I also want to become a devotee like that. So someone like that is exhibiting symptoms of someone on the level of nishta and ruchi and asakti. They're like so much absorbed and so blissful. And at that point it becomes easier to perform Krishna conscious, easier to perform sadhana bhakti. And then when we come to bhava, it becomes more easy like that. There's just so much love and attraction. When Jayananda Thakur was in the hospital, he had leukemia, he had a blood cancer. He was in tremendous pain. But he was doing festivals and distributing prasadam to the doctors and the nurses, and he was just fully blissful in his Krishna consciousness. So we take inspiration from the example of great Vaishnavas like this, and we say that yes, we will have to struggle. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddhachite Karye Udoy. That gradually through the process of sadhana, of hearing and chanting, then Krishna Prema will gradually udoy, means awaken, like the rising sun. The rising sun or the opening lotus flower, gradually, Krishna consciousness will awaken. Does that address your point?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Would anyone else like to share any comments or any questions?
I have a bit of a pedantic question.
It's a pedantic question. What does pedantic mean?
It's a bit, maybe just over the top, being too technical.
It's a very highly technical question. I'm not very good at this.
But this about today's verse.
Okay.
And you recited 2 verses today.
Yeah.
The one before Brahma spoke is Lord Vishnu was speaking.
Yeah.
How did suddenly Brahma come into the picture, and who was he addressing?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, sorry, I could have maybe put that in perspective in the beginning of the class, like setting the scene. So what has happened here is that Diti is pregnant with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And because there's such big demons, the whole universe is in disarray just by their presence in the womb. And all the demigods are in great anxiety. So when demigods are in anxiety, they always go and visit who? Lord Brahma. So they've gone to Lord Brahma and they say, please help us, please help us. What's going on? So Lord Brahma is explaining to them what's going on. That actually the 4 Kumaras went to Vaikuntha, they cursed Jai and Vijay, and that's why we're in this difficult situation. So this is a narration of Lord Brahma to the demigods explaining the whole story. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Or Coach, anything else? Okay. Thank you all so much for your kind association this morning. Very grateful to all of you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.